So, one of the things I've been hearing about in the depths of the internet is talking about overtrading.
And active trading versus over trading, you hear us say every day, trade small, trade often.
Right.
When we say trade small, trade often, when we say trade often, are we encouraging people to overtrade? Is that what people might think?
Right. And so it's what I want to talk about and what I want to make clear is that our style of trading options, our approach to the markets is active and not over trading. Okay. Because that's an important distinction. I don't like over trading. Over trading is bad. But to some people on the outside, commentators, for example, will look at what we do and say, oh, you watch the Liz and Jenny show, you watch Tom Preston, you watch anybody, they're over trading. They're doing 20, 30 trades a day. That's over trading. Wrong. Okay. Active trading is not over trading. So let's go to the next slide because I wrote some basic notes that I want to get your feedback on, Jen. Um, world into active trading versus over trading. Okay. And what's the first with the what's the first slide?
Yeah, let's pull up the
First topic.
slides. I don't think the slides are. I don't
One
think the
moment,
slides.
guys. Sorry.
Okay, no problem, no problem. While John's pulling, oh, here we go. Active trading versus over
Okay.
trading.
So the first thing, the first level, active trading means you are engaged with the market. You're watching your positions, you're watching volatility, you're taking advantage of opportunities. Okay. Over trading is reactive. Over trading is I just bought UNH and now it's down. I better sell it. Okay. Why is it going? I don't know. I'm losing money. I better sell it. What do I think is going up? Well, the S&Ps are down. Maybe I should try to buy Tesla. Maybe I should try to buy Apple. Okay. Is completely reactive. Engaged versus reactive. Okay. That's what we are.
I also think over trading could be people who we always say you can't force trades, right? You can't force trades. So you might have people who open up their account and say, today I'm going to put on 10 trades no matter what, and they're trying to find them, trying to find them, trying to find them. Sometimes you don't have to put on that. And I know people want to keep probabilities up, they want to keep the numbers up, but you can't force trades. So when people are searching for trades, especially in a low vol when there's not a lot out there to do as a trader, you can't force it. And it's okay to have a day where you don't have a lot of, you're not placing a lot of trades. That's okay. I want people to know that that's okay.
That's exactly right. And when you talk about over trading, when and I love trading. I love it. I did a bunch of trades this morning. I'll do some more this afternoon. I love it.
It's
But
the
it
one
is
thing that we're going to be doing forever, right? It doesn't matter how
right.
old we are, we'll be doing it forever. Liz and I joke we'll be 90 years old in the nursing home and we'll still be trading.
But here's the big thing about engage versus reactive. If I can't get a trade executed, if I can't get a fill at my price, I move on. And if nobody wants to trade with me this afternoon, I'm not going to push it. Just like you said, I'm not going to force a trade just to get a trade on. Okay. So that's one of the first distinctions I see in between active and over trading. The second one, and this is the big one, I think, is strategy versus guessing. So to me, an active trader uses strategies to his or her advantage. I know when I look at certain information, when I look at volatility, when I hear news, or even if I look at a chart, I'm going to use this strategy. Okay. I'm going to sell a put. I'm going to do a covered call. I'm going to do a vertical. I'm going to do a whatever versus guessing. I think the SPOOs are going to rally. Okay. I think UNH is going to bounce back up. Okay. You're just kind of guessing.
If people don't learn how to use options, they're always just guessing. If people don't learn
Yes.
If they don't learn options, then they're just buying stock or selling stock. They're always guessing. They're never thinking about strategy because they're never having you can't have a high probability of profit. You can't have a high probability trade if you're not using options. So then you are always guessing.
Well, so my belief and the research shows that really stock prices are pretty random. In other words, whether they go up or down is almost impossible to predict. Maybe somebody could do it. That's why I say almost. Maybe there's somebody out there who could just ride this stuff and make money just tick by tick. Great. Good for them. Great. I can't do it. Personally, I can't do it. I rely on picking strategy. So the whole, when you and Liz talk about, let's say, doing collars or doing covered calls or naked short puts or something like that, that is different. That is using strategies in certain ways. It is applying them in an intelligent, engaged way, right?
Because
Versus
you're right.
guessing, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. Nobody knows. I mean, I started trading in the 90s. You started trading in the 90s, right?
Yeah, early 90s, yeah.
Both been trading for decades, and we know as like old professional traders that people can't pick a direction. So you need to overlay strategy on top of your positions.
Right. So what I'd say is there are correct strategies, not correct guesses. Okay. I can guess that UNH is going to go up, but that doesn't mean anything. I use the right strategy for UNH.
Hey, TP, I remember when I manage my own account, but I remember when I started managing my parents' account, and when I managed their account, I said to myself, I'm only going to pick, I trade a lot in mine, but for theirs, I'm only going to pick the ones I'm sure are going to be winners, right? I'm only going to pick the winners. And there you were doing worse than me because you just don't know. You just can't think that you know direction.
Right, right. So, and this last one is, and you just hinted at it, Jen, is you and I have been around for a while. Okay. We've been trading for a long time, year after year after year. And I think you and I both know, probably some of the same people, who have not survived.
Right.
Okay. And here's what it is. And I could name five, and I won't, but I could name five people right now who thought they had it figured out. Oh, this is how I'm going to make money in trading. Mm-hmm. And they it turns out they don't. They're one trick ponies, and they try to use that same trick day after day, week after week, month after month. Doesn't work. Okay. You have to adjust. So active trading promotes long-term learning. Jenny, how long have you and Liz been doing this show?
15 years. 15 years.
You do it every single day, and there's always something new somebody can learn watching your show. It is long-term learning. I come up with new metrics, new trade strategy, new things. Hopefully they get in the platform, but I have my own little tools that I like to look at to test out before they go on the platform. Mm-hmm. I've been doing this for 30 plus years. I always find something new. There's always something else that surprises me or something that says, oh, I didn't think of that. Okay.
We're always learning. And when we think we've got the holy grail, we figure out that, it's another trick to have in our bag, but it wasn't necessarily the holy grail. So for as many strategies as we've created over the years, things are still changing. We're still tweaking them, and we're constantly learning, and the market's always changing.
That's why overtrading is just frustrating. Why am I've tried buying this and it went down. I tried shorting that and it went up. And all I do is generate commissions and I'm paying a lot of slippage. I quit. Okay. Overtrading doesn't last long. Overtrading lasts until your bank account runs out of money. Okay. Overtrading is frustrating and is not a career. Active trading is a career. You said a little while ago, Liz, Jenny, we're going to be doing this on our deathbeds. You know, my last bit of energy, I will reach out with my finger and hit a bid, right? That's active trading.
If you're not subscribed, subscribe right here. And if you want to meet me and the team in person at our next live event, hit the link at the top of the description.